Here we go. All right, guys. I had just had this great idea, and I've thought about this before, but I was never able to bring it into context with the day trading investment community. And it just seems so simple, but it seems so tenacious, so daunting for the average person to do, or if you're just in this space. And so I'll give you an example, guys. So my new strategy, to give you the premise, is focus on smaller gains continuously with daily goals or weekly goals, right? Um, and so, I'm glad you brought that up, Jacob. So, an issue that I'm seeing here with a lot of day traders, a lot of people who aren't patient, who know how to hodl, right? Hold on for dear life, right? Is that they're always focusing on the bigger gains, okay? And I just take what I can get. When I scalp or whatever, gap, whatever. I'm just looking for profits, right? And as long as I come out positive every day, whether it's $1 or 10 or 100, that's cool. I'm just adding to my income, right? But there's just so many people out there that are focusing on the Lambo. They're focusing on all these untangible goals without understanding how to get there. And you can't focus on that one big win because you're gonna have a lot more losses than you're gonna have big wins, and that big win is just gonna be like a recoup of all of your losses, right? That's what minimizing risk is, right? That's risk management. And so the idea isn't, so here's the idea. You're gonna get to your Lambo way quicker, right? When you minimize on your losses and do great on your gains, right? But the focus is minimizing on your losses for one. But the idea here is, I'll give you an example. If you focus on a very low percentage gain every day, which if you can learn how to do, you can figure it out, right? Most of the time, and you keep it consistent. Like my goal right now, I'm going to see if I can do 3 point. What was it? It was 4.04%, 0.03% of that's my goal every day. It's like 3.2 something percent every day. And so that to me just changes the whole game because in my mind, it's so much more tangible, so much more easier to get to the smaller goal than it is the bigger goal. And you may be asking, right? Hey, Dan, that's great. Like anybody can get to 3%. Right. Okay. Cool. That's great. Right. But can you get to your daily goal of 3% every day? Right. And if you don't, right, how can you figure out how to get there every day? Right. Somehow. Right. Take the safest roads. Right. And accrue it over time. Why not? Yeah, see, exactly. All the success stories that I've ever heard, and I've talked to a lot of people, not just in the crypto community and investment community, right? And Warren Buffett says it and he preaches it, but this is in a different way. Everybody that I've known who has success starts off with a little amount of money and builds it, right? And how do they build it? They let it sit, but they also focus on these small little gains, these just positions that they do daily, right? They're not there trying to strategize because listen, I'm all about future projecting, right? But it gets so difficult trying to figure out how to exactly enter and exit, right? You take what you can, and focusing on the lower percentage, it takes away the greed out of everything, right? Because it's the very opposite, right? You're just focusing on whatever that is. For me, it's 4.2% or 3.2%, whatever it is. That's the opposite spectrum of greed. I'm just getting my cut for today, and hey, welcome till tomorrow, right? And if you do that systematically every day, it gets a little bit difficult because eventually you're just going to have so much money that you're going to have to divide and conquer. And why does it get harder when you have more money when you get to that point? Because the percentage points don't go down trying to staying at that percentage. Give you an example. Um, when you have so much of your portfolio, you just don't dump it all into one position, right? You fragment it out. But so you don't get to that 3%, that 2%, maybe that 1%, right? Gain every you don't get to that 1% with that one position. You have to divide it up, but the percentage points of those fragments have to go up now. So if you have two or four, right, subdivided to get to that goal overall of your portfolio of 3% daily, right? That means that you have to double those percentage points. Then the game gets harder, right? So there's a curve here, right? That obviously gets kind of difficult when you think about it. Then you have to map out 4, 6, 8, 12, 16 winners of, whatever it is, 4%. And that's going to be challenging because you're going to win some, lose some. And, maybe you'll be a little bit over your goal, maybe you'll be a little bit under, but it's so much more tangible to approach it that way and to say, okay, cool. I'm going to see if I can strategize every day 10 to 15 different positions to take, maybe throughout the day, and focus on those to get to that little goal, right? It's really small margin, but when you do it daily, you can just do the math. It's crazy. Then to do it and project and to hit or miss, right, on these whole, like, going to the moon positions, right? Because the only people who go to the moon are the people that already know it's coming, and the people who already know it's coming aren't in chat rooms. They're not talking about it, right? They're just safe at home. They're just at home. They bought into the position whenever, and they're just sitting at their computer, just waiting for it to happen, and everybody else is talking about it, and that's all fluff. You're just adding fluff to their fluff, and then they're dumping because they're not going to talk about it, and so it's the pretense, right? I'm not saying people aren't going to come out on top of it, right? Back projects or back investments that you wholeheartedly believe in and that you think that, you should have a long-term plan, right? But what I'm saying is focus on what would actually more likely build what's more probable, right? Going for that smaller number on a safer trade or a safer investment than going on something that's just going to be ridiculously crazy. It may work. You don't know when it's going to hit. You may miss the train. Oh my God. There's a lot more emotions tied to the bigger risk, is what I'm saying. And it's a lot easier to make a trade when you're just trying to get 3% gains than when you're trying to get 100% gains. And that's all I have to say today. So if you have any thoughts or ideas about this, I'm just slowly unraveling it. But I compared it to like what I've been doing and what everybody else has been doing, and I just take, like I said earlier, like I'll enter a trade. If I make $100, great. If I make a grand, great. But what I'm saying is, if I could just slowly roll that up to where there's momentum, where there's compound gains, then that's great for me because then I know what to do from there. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it made some sense. I hope it's a different approach or it's an approach. Um, you know, so if you have any thoughts, ideas, just let me know. If not, hopefully you like, subscribe, and I'll see you. If you want me to do a video about something else, just let me know. This channel is gonna be booming, and there's gonna be a lot of content of all different things, and I hope that you guys